Assalamualaikum, my name is Amira Ilyana 256052. I will be explaining on the case of PP against Hanif Basree Abdul Rahman in year 2008, and this case is concerning more towards the circumstantial evidence and it is related to this assignment. Okay, the brief fact of this case is regarding with the offence of murder. The accused was charged with an offence of murder of the intimate friends Norita Samsudin at the condominium in Sri Hatamas, Kuala Lumpur. The body of the deceased was found facing downwards and the mouth was stuffed with the towels, and also her hands, the deceased's hands were tied behind her back, and also the legs were tied with electrical cords. And also the investigation officer at the crime scene found a wet tissue from the waste basket paper, so it is a form of evidence. And also, however, at the end of the prosecution case, the accused was were discharged and acquitted and without being called for his defense. This is because the prosecutor failed to prove the case is beyond reasonable doubt and there is no and cannot establish a prima facie case. So this is regarding with the issue of evidence, especially on the circumstantial evidence that have been tendered before the court. So there are certain issues and this causes a reasonable doubts in the mind of the court. So that's why the accused was be acquitted and discharged. So we'll be looking more into what are the types of circumstantial evidence that have been tendered in the court. Circumstantial evidence may be referred to any fact from the existence of which the judge may infer the existence of the fact in issue. It is actually a collection of various kind of evidence from the crime scene or from the testimony of the witnesses to form a change of circumstantial evidence. So this shows that the prosecution cannot solely rely on one of circumstantial evidence because it has the lower weightage in the admissibility of the evidence. So they need to collect various kind of circumstantial basis so that it could make a strong built cases against the accused. So for instance, if the case is solely based on the circumstantial evidence, there is no real evidence, there is no other kinds of evidence, so it is basically on the circumstantial evidence. So it is in part of the prosecution burden to show that the circumstantial evidence has a strong probability value in total so that the case could be proved beyond reasonable doubt. There is no defense counsel that could raise any reasonable doubt in the mind of the judge, so that the irresistible conclusion means that the guilt of the accused or the beyond reasonable doubt. So which means that the circumstantial evidence could be tendered in the court even though it has the lower probability value, but then it is on the part of the prosecutions to show the circumstantial evidence has the value itself to convict the accused. Okay, the second part is regarding with my own thoughts of feeling on the decisions on these cases regarding to the circumstantial evidence. I personally agreed with the decision of the judge to acquit and discharge the accused. This is because there are too many doubts in the prosecution case to convict the accused. This is because the first regarding with the circumstantial evidence on the DNA of the on the deceased body had been found. The 10% contributor belong to the unknown male one. This is the question or in the mind of public, who is the unknown male one? Until now we don't know. So this causes either the accused or the unidentified person that causing the death of the disease. The last person causing the death of the disease is either the accused or the unidentified person. We don't know. So the second one is regarding with the issue of body odor. This is also testified by the prosecution witness himself, that the witness testified that they never experienced such body odor in the apartment at the crime scene area at the moment, because they know they already met with the accused and they already experienced his body odor. So this inexperienced full body odor, they can't never smell it before. They never identified before. So this belongs to the unknown male one. So it is, in this case there are too many doubts regarding it is true or not the accused himself causing the death of the disease, because if we look into the past relationship between the accused and the Norita Samsudin, there is the disease, means they have the intimate relationship. Either it is true or not the accused has causing the death of the disease. So now when we come to the another part, that is the evaluation on the decision of this case in basis of the circumstantial evidence in relating to the legal provision and also other decided cases. So according to section 60 of Evidence Act 1950, the circumstantial evidence related to this provision is in the sense of witness testifying in the court on what he or she perceives. However, this circumstantial evidence has lower in weightage of in the admissibility of evidence. So thus, the evidence tendered in the court must be relevant to the fact in issue, so that it have the close proximity in the case. It does not go around everywhere and be too remote. So this is concerning relating to the section 5 of this section 5 of the Evidence Act 1950. So in this case of Hanif Basree, the prosecution solely rely on the circumstantial evidence that is already mentioned before. There is a DNA and also with the full body odor. So it is part of the prosecution side to prove this evidence and prove there is a beyond reasonable doubt. If you relate to the identification of DNA with Hanif Basree case, the chemist expert found 10% of DNA belongs to the unknown male one in the diseased vaginal swab. So this shows that the existence of other person DNA found in a diseased body, even though the major contribution is the accused DNA in the diseased body. However, this cannot per se concluded that the accused causing the death of the disease. This is because it is only a circumstantial evidence, as I mentioned before, and there is also a lot of innocent explanation will be given and inferred in this case, because if we look into the past relationship between the accused and the deceased, they have the intimate relationship. So this could means other explanations. So with the existence of another DNA that is belong to the unknown male one causing and raise a reasonable doubt in the mind of the court. So in the case of Yap Buntai, before it is quite similar to the case of Hanif Basree in relating to the unidentified DNA profile had been found. So the defense counsel argued regarding with the exhibit that been found, it does not belong to the accused himself. So however, despite this circumstantial evidence, however, other evidence supporting the evidence showing that there is a strong build of the case against the accused. So this shows that even though one circumstantial evidence does not probably prove or disprove that the accused is not to be charged for the offences. In relating to the evidence of smell of the circumstantial evidence to the Hanif Basree case, the prosecution witness themselves testified that at the crime scene area, they saw a figure of a man putting his shirt on and walk away from the apartment. And the crucial part is they smell a foul body odor. This shows that they also testify that they never experienced such body odor before. And it is also known to the court that the accused and the deceased had intimate relationship, and the witness known the existence of the accused. So they testified they knew the body odor of the accused. But this kind of odor, full body odor of the unknown male one, was not known to them, so they did not know the identification of the man. And later, the crucial part is regarding with the testifications of the witness never been further questioned by the prosecution itself, even though it is his prosecution witness. This shows that the prosecution solely accepted the witness statements in the court and never further questions in the examinations. So this shows that the prosecution case would be jeopardized because he never questioned regarding with the full body order why the existence of unidentified person at the time of the offences have been made. Okay, we will come to last part, that is the conclusion and the solutions on a way to improve the evidentiary circumstantial evidence in the court. For me, the way or alternative way in order to improve the evidentiary system, that is, will link the physical evidence with the circumstantial evidence. This is because the physical evidence have the high probability value, and also in addition with the circumstantial evidence that has a low probability value. So if we be joined together, they might build a strong cases in the prosecution case. So in relating to the Hanif Basree case, regarding the issue concerning with unidentified DNA of an unknown male one, so it is possible because in our era of 21st century, everything is about technology. So it is not possible for a person to build a system to have an identification of the DNA profiler. This is because we now have the identification system of fingerprints. So when they have the fingerprints of that person, we can identify the that person. So it is goes the same way to the DNA, because as far as I'm concerned, the DNA profiler must already known beforehand. That is, that if we must have the specimen of that person and specimen of another person. So if we link this together, they can already notify that this DNA is belong to him. So in this Hanif Basree case, this is because they do not have the sample of the unknown male one, so they cannot trace the DNA is belong to whom. So this kind of solution might be help in the another or in the future case relating to the DNA, because nowadays the case of the murder, everything is relating to the DNA. Another solution is just like a common ways or in a way of improving the DPP's role in the court. This is because in Hanif Basree case, the prosecution witness himself testified in the courts that they never experienced such body odor. However, this statement never further questions or never further challenged by the prosecution to further questioning what are regarding with the full body odor. This because the DPP just merely accepted the witness statement in the court, and this shows that there has a slight doubts in the case. So the prosecution never removed that doubts, never go beyond the reasonable doubt. That is why in the case of Hanif Basree, the accused was acquitted and discharged because of these slight doubts. So it is, for me, there is a better solutions for the prosecutions to improve their own role in the court in his prosecution case, to effortly shows that his case is beyond reasonable doubt and cannot merely just accepted the witness statement even though it is his witness. So it must shows there's something else that could supporting the evidence. It is, in conclusion, in fact, the federal court dismissed the appeal on the ground of, first, the presence of unknown male full body odor. The second one is the proven of the DNA from the deceased body will remain unrebutted. This is because, in fact, the prosecution had a duty to ensure the evidence is strong enough and not to create any doubts in this case. However, unfortunately, in this case, there were too many doubts in the mind of the courts, and also regarding with the circumstantial evidence have been tendered in the court. So it is not strong enough. There is a break in a change of evidence. There is a break in a change of circumstantial evidence. So, all in all, the prosecution failed to prove a prima facie case against the accused, and therefore the accused Hanif Basree were acquitted and discharged from the charge of murder of the deceased. So that is all from me. Thank you.